Hello and welcome to what promises to be yet another thrilling instalment of action from weeks 11 and 12 of Divisions 5F and 5G of the REL League. I am your host, Kallisti Maya, the golden apple of Discord. So it's been a few weeks since my last recap video. To start off with, I had a little bit of real life come up and I had to take a week or so out from doing these recap videos. And then we had the festive break, Christmas, New Year, Kwanzaa, whatever else you might be celebrating. Lots of people were out and about doing things other than playing Blood Bowl, and there was a hold placed on the league, so that everybody had sort of 2 weeks to play their match day 12 game. This week I'm going to be giving you a recap video that's going to be covering weeks 11 and 12 of Divisions 5F and 5G. And without any further ado, let's dive straight into the action. So week 11 saw a lot of great games going on in Division 5F. And top of the bill, we had the Siberian Hopscotch Mafia versus the Flinging Fun, the Halfling team. Now, as many of you may well know, Flinging Fun is one of the stunty team frontrunners for the Stunty Cup and going through to that stunty spot in the playoffs. So Mr. Christie is trying his best to get through and claim that one spot in the playoffs for the Stunty team. And he's doing well, along with another team in Division 5F, but we'll get to them in a little bit. And that was a nil-all draw. So probably might have been hoping for a little bit better for the Flinging Fun, just to really try and secure that spot. But it was a draw, so it's at least a point. Moving on, we had Lisma Timbers versus Once Bitten. So Lisman team versus the Vampire team. And that was a 2-1 win for Once Bitten, Bug Tugley. Then we had the Kevlin Krakens dropping 2-zip to Raskin Bobbins, the Nurgle team, coached by Shira. And this Nurgle team has been doing amazing, considering it's a Nurgle team. I think they're one of the front runners for the division, and yeah, they've been doing an amazing job, especially for this first season Nurgle team. Then we had Gambas Gals with an admin win, a 1-0 admin win over Thrashcan. Sylvania Slayers managed to eke out a draw versus the Oklahoma Sooners, the Orc team. Murderers Row, the division champs, or division leaders, and probably, I think it might even be confirmed now, the division champs, in a 1-0 win over the Harlem Globetrotters version 2. Again, and that's another admin win game. And then we had Happy Go Go, the other stunty team in Division 5F that is a front runner for across ReBBL for that one playoff stunty spot. Unfortunately, they fell 1-0 to ReBBL Rage Quit, the mad, bad, and dangerous to know Chorf team. Moving on to week 12, we had the Siberian Hopscotch Mafia versus Raskin Bobbins, and Raskin Bobbins was the victor in that game as well. And that was a 2-1 win for Raskin Bobbins. Once Bitten got their admin win 1-0 over Thrashcan. We had Flinging Fun with another draw. Again, points on the board versus the Oklahoma Sooners. Great to see this Halfling team getting points in pretty much every game. Probably would like to see some more of these converted to wins, but this is a Sunty team, so any points are good. Again, really still in the running for that playoff spot. Lisma Timbers got an admin win over the Harlem Globetrotters, so that was a 1-0 win for them. Then we had Rebel Rage Quit proving their superiority over the Norse team, the Kevlin Krakens. And this both teams are sort of close to the top of the tables, so this was a high-powered match. So that was a good win for Rabbi and Rebel Rage Quit. And then we had Gamba's Gals, the Amazon team, with a 1-0 win over Happy Happy Go Go. So that's great news for Gamba, not so great for Happy Happy Go Go. If this was any Stunty team, but just like it's not though, because just like Flinging Fun, they are a front runner for the Stunty spot in the playoffs. So every game matters, every point matters. And then we had the Sylvania Slayers falling 2-0 to Murderers Row. And let's take a quick look at week 13. I will cover it in the next video, but just see if any games have been played. So we had the Elizabeth Timbers in a 2-0 win over the Siberian Hopscotch Mafia. Let's take a quick look at the leaderboard. So yeah, Murderers Row are clearly going to win the division, and they're going to claim their spot as division champions and their spot in the playoffs. So congratulations, the Doc M. Rabbi with Rebel Rage Quit, and Gamba with Gamba's Gals, and Shira with Raskin Bobbins with coached by Shira. They are all on the same points. So we're in the last week of the regular season, and for these three teams, the games really matter. So let's take a quick look and see who they're playing. So we've got Rabbi, Gamba, and Shira. So let's see. Okay, so we have Gamba playing Once Bitten, Raskin Bobbins playing the Sylvania Slayers, and Rebel Rage Quit have an admin game versus the Valorous Nobles. So that must be just a quick AI team that was created for an admin win. Okay, so definitely Rebel Rage Quit are going to get the win there. And I think Raskin Bobbins and Once Bitten, and Gamba's Gals are going to get a win as well. Let's take a quick look and see what the TD differential is, because that now is the first tiebreaker. So right now, Rabbi has a TD differential of +9. Gamba has +8, and Shira has +6. So unless Gamba can win by a significant margin, I think he's not going to overcome a Rabbi. And I think Shira, even though you might win, I think you're going to fall foul of the new first tiebreaker rule, which is the TD differential. But anything can happen. We could see Gamba fall and Shira win by a lot of goals and a lot of touchdowns, and then Shira will be in second place. So everything to play for this week. Everything to play for. But definitely Murderers Row are through, and they're through to the playoffs. So congratulations to them. Now let's take a quick look at those four teams and just see. And we'll take a quick look at Happy Happy Go Go and Flinging Fun, just to see if they make it through to the playoffs, what they'll be going to the playoffs with. Okay, so let's take a look at Flinging Fun first. I'm expecting to see a very threadbare team. That's kind of the way halflings and stunty teams in general roll. So we have the one halfling with Sancho Carrot with Wrestle, another one with Block and Sure Hands, another one with sidestep, one with a strength up, that's nice, and then we have another one with sidestep. And then both the treemen have grab. The one team reroll, 970 team value. So when going through to the playoffs, you're going to have a nice amount of inducements to get your deep root and get your halfling chef, master chef, and yeah, I can definitely see if Mr. Christie does make it through to the playoffs. Definitely see him having a decent chance in the first game, first round. And then we have Happy Go Go. So these are your two stunty hopefuls. Lexi is still kicking around and leading the team. So Lexi has 36 SPP, sidestep, jump up, sure hands. Then we have Anna, the strip ball goblin. We have Mimsy, who is diving tackle. We have one troll with break tackle. We have Heather the Loony, who is out for the next match, the week 13 match, and has AV bust. So if it wasn't dicey enough for Heather, it's going to be even dicier now. So we have Lexi, the star player on this team, accidental star player. I was speaking to Taco Truck, and Lexi just seemed to get MVP after MVP after MVP. So 36 SPP, which is pretty high for a goblin. We've got sidestep, we've got jump up, we've got sure hands, we've got Anna with strip ball, we've got Mimsy. Lovely name. I love the naming scheme on this team. Who is a delicate goblin damsel with diving tackle. And then we have Trina the troll, who has a break tackle. And then we have Heather the loony, who is out for the next match, the week 13 match, with an AV bust. And if things weren't dicey enough for the loony with the chainsaw, they're even dicier now, because we've got a stunty with AV6 wielding a chainsaw. So living on borrowed time, to say the least. But definitely I wish both Taco Truck and Mr. Christie the best of luck, and hopefully Division 5F can have one of these two teams go through and claim that stunty spot in the playoffs. Now on to the top four teams of the division. So we have Raskin Bobbins. I'm doing them in reverse order, it looks like. So Raskin Bobbins, coached by Shira. The Nurgle team. Let's see how they're doing. So we have Rocky Road, Beast of Nurgle. At 10 SPP, I think there hasn't been much movement there. Taken block, which was an amazing double. And then we have Fudge Brownie, Nurgle Warrior, with 13 SPP, taken block. Coffee has Mighty Blow and block. And then we have French Vanilla, Pestigore. Been talking about French Vanilla sort of pretty much all season, I think. Definitely one of the early front runners on this team, who has a strength up and block. And then we have just a bunch of Pestigores and Rotters. I'm not sure how bad attrition on this team has been. There seems to be a lot of players without any SVP, which is usually suggests there's been some turnover. In fact, I can see right now is Moose Tracks 2, Pistachio 2 and Peppermint 2. So definitely we've had some dead rotters there. But Mint Chocolate and Black Cherry, I'm not sure. Let's see how many games they've played. One match. Five matches. Okay, so 5 matches and still haven't got any SPP on this one. Bit of a shame, but hopefully that can turn that around and get some levels on these pesticles, because they can become invaluable later on. Raskin Bobbins, Shira, you've had an amazing season. Even if you don't make it, I am so impressed with how you've done with this team. Nurgle is such a hard team to get a good start on, and you've almost come in second, or you will have come in second. I mean, if you do or you don't, it's still a really good achievement to do so well with Nurgle. Then we had who was the other ones? Oh, so we had ReBBL Rage Quit and so many teams in this division. And then we had Gamba's Gals. Okay, so let's have a look at Gamba's Gals. The Amazon team, and oh, there's some serious development on this team. Okay, so we have Killer K with the Blitzer, who's taken on Mighty Blow and Jump Up. We have Rexer, the level 4 Blitzer, probably the highest leveled player on the team, taking guard, Mighty Blow and Movement Up. Little bit surprising that the most developed player took guard first. That's kind of contrary to popular belief. I think there might have been a lot of feeding this player the ball and a lot of touchdowns scored. Let's take a quick look. Oh, 4 MVPs. That's definitely going to help out. 2 touchdowns scored and 4 casualties inflicted. Wow, had a good run. So definitely this is a standout player on the team. We have Jenks, who's just leveled, has guard right now, might be looking at a Mighty Blow to add to the other 2. And then we have Turd Fergie, or Turd Fergal, level 3 Blitzer with double agility up. This is an agility 5 Blitzer, Blodge Blitzer. Crazy. This is definitely a star player on the team. Now we can see why Gamba's having this late spurt of wins and vying for that second place, and definitely going to have a very strong team next season. Then we have Lamba the Catcher, who's now Blodge. We have Shepherd the Catcher, who is again Blodge. A bit surprised to not see actually no Blodge on your catches on your Amazon team is pretty good, but I would like to see one of these line women get wrestle, Rog, and then tackle or strip ball and have a bit of a ball hawk. Another good combo is Rog and Fend, just to be the most annoying player on the pitch. Take it and you'll see. And then we have Blackburn Sensei. I remember talking about this one earlier on in the season. So he's had that strength up. She's had that strength up for quite a while now, and finally got block for a nice strength up Blodge piece. And then we have Boca, who is out with a miss next game, or is it a niggle? It's just a miss next game. Okay, that's nice. Still have your game to play this week, I believe. Yeah, still have your game to play this week, and the opportunity is there to get second place. You will have to win by a little bit of a margin though, just to beat the TD differential that Arabi is going to have with the ReBBL Rage Quit. And now to look at ReBBL Rage Quit. Just because he has an admin win, this is probably going to be my pick for second place. Although I have heard that there might be some sort of admin wins not being counted the same way as regular wins are. So maybe ReBBL Rage Quit isn't going to make it through to second place. I'm not quite sure what the rules are on that. But if it is counted, this would definitely be my choice to go through, because he has the TD differential as well, to make a strong statement that he's going to be making it through to the second place. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the team. We have 2 blockers, Calgan and Monk Iron Trez, with Mighty Blow taken as their first skill. We have 3, the same 2 blockers, and then a third one, Turd Norse Ferguson, with Guard. Guard is so strong on these Chaos Dwarf blockers. We have 3 Hobgoblins with 30 player. Definitely Arabi's opening statement at the beginning of the season, we did a survey, and he said he was voted the most bashy coach or something along those lines, and definitely wants to live up to that name and maintain that reputation. So, yep, 3 Hobgoblins with 30 player, 1 Hobgoblin who is just been touched by God. He got an agility up and block and sure hands. So disconnect Damek is definitely a nice diamond in the rough, and a bit of a surprise for this team, bit of an asset. And then we have the Mad Hatter and Jack A-Hole, who have block, both have block, but still searching for that second level, both of them are. And we have dropped the Minotaur. I'm not sure if the Minotaur died or if he was just dropped from the team. I don't think the Minotaur is a very strong piece on the Chaos Dwarf team, so it is definitely possible that he got dropped. He got a movement bust, so that was probably led to the decision why he was dropped. It might also just be because the team can do pretty well without him, maybe even do better without him. Anyway, so this is definitely, if the admin wins are counted as the same way as a regular win, definitely this is going to be my choice for that second place in the division. And then we're looking at the division champs last of all, so Murderer's Row. From very early on, Murderer's Row staked their claim at the top of the division, were favourites pretty much since week 3 maybe, and have just not slowed down at all. So we have Elizabeth Rathery, the second. So we had Elizabeth Rathery died early to Gamba. So the second of her name has taken Mighty Blow and Block. We have Albert Squish with Blodge. Interesting. We have Son of Slam. Son of Slam, who has White, who has Blodge and Guard. That's nice. We have Gil Diraz, who is a Flash Golem, who has Block and Mighty Blow. And then Snarls Manson 2. So it looks like you paid your Flesh Golem tax, because this is the second one. How many games have you played? 3 matches. So Snarls Manson 1 died a little while ago, and then we had the Zodiac Killer, Ghoul, who is now Blodge, and then we have a bunch of zombies, 2 guards, 1 dirty player, and 1 block kick. Very, very, very competent coach. Strong team. Wouldn't be surprised if you did pretty well in the playoffs. Not sure if you're going to go all the way. There are some very fearsome teams that have been going through to the playoffs that have been around for a very long time. You might even be placed against one of them in round one of the playoffs and see an early exit. But I hope not. And I could definitely wouldn't be surprised if I saw you going a few rounds in to the playoffs. And now to give some love to REL 5G. So this recap was actually recorded in two parts. One 5F I did the other night, and then I was expecting to be going out to a joint birthday party and last night, and my devious wife surprised me by organising a huge surprise birthday bash for me. So it's Sunday morning-ish, and I'm nursing a bit of a hangover. Not as bad as I thought I'd be, but 5G, I'm going to be giving you lots of love and covering your week at 11 and 12 matches. But if I'm a little bit croaky or a little bit not with it, that's the reason why. I'll do my best. Okay, so let's get straight into the action. So week 11 saw the Austin Knights going down 1-0 to Thunderstrike. We had the Castlevania Creeps in a 1-1 draw with the Big Bad Baby Eaters. Let's take a quick look at that match. So that's nice. The Castlevania Creeps had a little bit more action on the armor breaks, although the Big Bad Baby Eaters did get a death. Let's look at the SPP game. And so Wilhelm Chaney got 4 SPP, so he must have got a touchdown. No, maybe not a touchdown. Maybe a pass and an injury or 2 injuries, something like that. And then we have Matthias Kronqvist with a touchdown. So 2 injuries for Wilhelm Chaney, 1 pass for Brawner, and then we have the touchdown and then the MVP. Big Baby Eaters got a touchdown. Again, 2 injuries, all the 1 death and the 1 injury, and then the MVP. Looked like quite a close match. Nice even out match. Then we had Cheeses and Such, the Goblin team, going. They got a win, 1-0 versus the Dolgan Lions. That's a great result for the Goblins. Then we had late edition, the Holy Grails, and they went down 2-1 to BioWare for Life, the other Vamp team in this division. Holy Grails, Bretonian team, joined the season a little bit later, so they've been facing or fighting an uphill battle. I think they've got some wins, some draws, and quite a few losses. But that's perfectly acceptable. It's your first season, you joined late, you're up against it. So not a bad thing. Then we had Scooby and the gang in a 2-0 win over Mount the Tetons. Mount the Tetons, I believe, is the Orc team. So let's take a quick look at the action for that match. So a 2-0 win. Mountain Titan did end up getting a little bit more of the action for the injuries and the armor breaks. They did get an expulsion as well, but they weren't putting together the action to score and win. They left that for Scooby and the gang to do. Take a little bit more of a look. So it's 37% on each side for ball possession. We had just had the touches. We had a little bit more of a game plan. with a will to win from Scooby and the gang. It just looks like Mount the Tetons were just pure going out to maim and injure, which is pretty typical for Orc teams. Then we had still back on week 13. There we go. Then we had now this was a big match. Lizard Techers versus We Chillin'. Lizard Techers are doing really well. I think they're close to the top of the leaderboard, and so are We Chillin'. So this was like a real sort of going to give you a great indication as to who was probably going to win the division. And We Chillin', the Dark Elf team, did come with a mighty win here, 3-1 win over the Lizard Techers. So that's going to be a great result for them. Then we had the Farm Animals falling to These Violent Delights 2-1. Moving on to week 12, we had We Chillin' beating the Austin Knights 2-1. We then had, so again cementing their probably their dominance at the top of the leaderboard. We will check in a second. Then we had These Violent Delights beating Mount the Tetons 2-0. We had the Farm Animals beating BioWare for Life 2-1. Great result for them. Then we had the Lizard Techers in a 1-0 win over the Dolgan Lions. Now this is a bit of a surprise. I know the Big Bad Baby Eaters are doing well, but I know that Scooby and the gang were doing better. So if I'd been making predictions, I would have actually picked Scooby and the gang over the Big Bad Baby Eaters. But the Big Bad Baby Eaters got a nice 1-0 win over Scooby and the gang. And then we had Thunderstrike versus the Holy Grails, and that was a nice 2-1 win for Thunderstrike. And then rounding out the week, we had Castlevania Creeps in a 1-0 win over Cheeses and Such, the Goblin team. Now, if we take a look at just take a quick look at week 13. We're not going to go into details, but just to give us an indication of who's played and who hasn't. So Castlevania Creeps and Thunderstrike have played. We've got the Farm Animals and We Chillin' have played. That's an interesting result, but we're going to go into that next week. And then we had These Violent Delights and the Austin Knights. So that's going to have a little bit of impact on the leaderboard. So let's see. So currently we have a few teams still left to play their last game of the regular season, their week 13 game. But we have We Chillin' at the heady heights of the top of the division. And they are ahead by one full game. They have played all of their games. Is that right? Yeah, they've played all their games. And Scooby and the gang are a game behind. So if Scooby and the gang, who haven't played yet, can win versus BioWare for Life, it's going to go down to goal or touchdown difference, TD differential. So let's take a quick look somewhere else and just see what the TD differential is. So Scooby and the gang, it actually has a better TV differential than We Chillin'. So this result this week for We Chillin', which wasn't the best, might affect whether they top the division or not. So Scooby and the gang really has a chance here to take top spot. We also have the Lizard Techers, again, with a fabulous opportunity to take top spot. And their TD differential isn't as good though, so they don't have as much of a chance as Scooby and the gang does. But then we have so we've got the Scooby and the gang and Lizard Techers both on 903. Then we have These Violent Delights on 742. The Farm Animals are 724. So they are doing really well. They didn't have the greatest start to the beginning of their season, but look to have really sort of improved as the season's gone on, and now are sitting pretty in fifth place. I'm probably going to retain that position. Might move up a tiny bit, might move down, but that's a really good showing for them. And then we have BioWare for Life at 723. So actually, they haven't. The Farm Animals have played their week 13 game, so they are holding on to fifth. We'll just see if BioWare for Life and we'll see if BioWare for Life can push them down to sixth and jump over them. But right now, the Farm Animals are sitting in fifth and hoping to hold on to that. BioWare for Life, as I said, in sixth place right now. They still have a game to play, and they could jump. They could jump up to fourth, maybe. Doing a bit of quick math. Yeah, no, they could jump up to fourth if Road Dog doesn't do the business. Oh, actually, Road Dog's already played, so yeah, they could jump up to fourth. And then we have the Big Bad Baby Eaters, 543. Mount the Tetons, 615. Castlevania Creeps at 346. Thunderstrike at 337. Cheeses and Such at 237. We have the Holy Grails at 228. And then we have, rounding out, the Austin Knights at 1210. Do have a second page, but I don't think there's anybody there. Oh, the Dogon Lions at 129. Cool. Okay, so that is the standings right now for week 12 going into week 13. I expect to see in week 13 there being a little bit of a battle for the top spots. Scooby and the gang can unseat Wee Chillin'. It's been a close race between Wee Chillin', Scooby and the Gang, and the Lizards Techers all season long. So, not really thinking that the Lizards Techers, with their TD differential, which is the first tiebreaker, I'm not thinking that they are going to jump into the top spots because the best they can do is even points with Wee Chillin', but their TD differential is a little bit lower. So, unless they win by a huge margin. Scooby and the Gang definitely has an opportunity to be top of the division, and we could see, like, for instance, the Lizards Techers win, Scooby and the Gang lose, and then it will be Wee Chillin', Lizards Techers, and Scooby and the Gang. So these three teams are really just battling it out to see who's going to be first, second, and third. Congratulations to these Violent Delights, the Farm Animals, BioWare for Life, and the Big Bad Baby Eaters. You're all going to be in the top half of the table, regardless of how your Week 13 match, if you haven't played it yet, goes. And then Mount the Tetons, Castlevania Creeps, Thunderstrike, Cheeses and Such, the Holy Grails, and the Austin Knights, and the Dogon Lions. Hopefully you've all had a great season, been building your teams, you're going to stick with them, and we're going to see them again next season. A lot of you, I think, have improved and have been building your teams as the season goes along. I mean, I was chatting yesterday with Vapor Gecko, SFG Sam, about his vampire team, the Castlevania Creeps, and he's definitely coming back next season. He's excited about where the team is at, how they're building. I think he's got a lot of faith in the team, and I'm expecting him to come back next season and really sort of start making his mark with this vampire team. And hopefully the rest of you also come back and do amazing things. What we're going to do now is we're going to take a quick look at the top three teams, the three teams that are dueling it out for first, second, and third. Dueling out for first and second, and the worst they're going to come in at is third place. So let's take a look at Wee Chillin', Scooby and the Gang, and the Lizards Techers. So Lizards Techers in reverse order. Blagrag, Lizard Takers was a team that I paid attention to earlier on in the season. They had some really sort of good games where I was definitely impressed with the positioning and the way their games went. Not only were they wins, but they were convincing wins. It was a good showing by the Lizardman team. So definitely this team caught my eye early. So let's see how they're doing in terms of development. So this is good. We have some development on the Croxagore. We have Guard. We have Bopper, who hasn't yet got a level. Probably is a replacement. Probably didn't start the season with Bopper. Let's have a look. Oh no, Bopper has played 12 matches, so he's been around. Just he hasn't really been showboating and doing anything impressive. Just sitting there on 2 SPP. So definitely, I think Blagrag is going to be trying to get that first level. Once you start getting sort of the first level on your Saurus, it's becomes a lot easier once you get blocked to sort of start leveling them up. Although with Bopper, just so he can catch up in terms of SPP game, you might want to give him Mighty Blow first. Bit unconventional. Usually I would go for block first just to make them a lot safer. But Mighty Blow will help sort of with the SPP gain, so that might be a consideration. We have Basher, who has 18 SPP. He has a level which he hasn't taken yet. Be excited to see what that is. Wouldn't be surprised if it was Guard. Could be Mighty Blow, or it could be another stand firm piece as well. Then we have Click, who has 2 levels already. It's at 16 SPP, and he's taken block and stand firm. Then we have Clack, who has went with Mighty Blow first, then with block. So there's a good example of getting the skill that will help you get the SPP faster and then playing it safe. I actually like the choices here. He looks like he went. He went for four block Saurus for that safety, and then with Clack, he's taking a little bit of a risk. With Mighty Blow, it seems to have paid off. Now he's taking block to make it a safer piece, and once that one levels, it's going to be a formidable piece. Maybe even go for tackle. That'd be nice. We've got Tipper with block and about to level again, and then we've got Tapper with block and Mighty Blow. In terms of the Skinks, we have one with sidestep and another with an agility up, which is amazing. Agility 4 Skink is going to be Lizard Gold. It's going to be definitely a piece that you're going to treasure, but it's also going to be a piece that everyone's going to be hunting for. And the rest of the Skinks haven't seen much development. There's probably been a fairly good turnover. You might have even been just sort of recycling Skinks after they get to their second level and it's nothing impressive. I know that's a tactic that Lizardmen coaches will often use, just because Skinks are such SPP magnets. They only have access to agility skills, and after you've taken one or two agility skills, there's not really much left to get excited about. And you really don't want to have a bloaty skink with a lot of skills that are useful, but they're not like nothing stellar. So quite often you'll see them recycled once they get to that third level. Okay, in terms of if Lizard Takers make it through to the playoffs, how I think they'll do. I think Blagrag is a very competent coach. The games I've watched anyway. And I think with that strong foundation of block on the Saurus, you've got the two Mighty Blow pieces, which is going to add some dynamic bashiness to the team. You've got the Croxagore with the guards. The Skinks, you've got the one with agility 4. The rest are pretty vanilla or just raw. I think you could do well, depending on who you matched up with. Yeah, I would be feeling a lot happier about your chances if you make it through to playoffs. Pardon me. If you had a little bit of tackle, a lot of the teams in other leagues like G-Man and Big O, and definitely all the teams in the higher divisions are pretty stacked with dodge pieces. Even your classic bash teams like your Orcs will have a few really key pieces with dodge, and taking them down, blodge, it's just really hard unless you have tackle. So definitely tackle is something that I would love to see having in the playoffs. Not sure if that's going to happen. So you've got good chances, but definitely would be better if you had something like tackle just to combat the plethora of dodge that you're probably going to be seeing in the playoffs. Okay, moving on, we had Scooby and the Gang, which is right next to the Lizard Techers. Scooby and the Gang was yet another team that I was earlier on in the season. I watched a few games and I was just really impressed with how they were able to control the pitch and direct the flow of the game. Definitely, I think Travel Scrabble can do well next season and makes it through the playoffs. I think he stands a fair chance, even if you're facing teams that have much higher TV and much more development. So let's have a quick look at the teams. We've got Scrappy Doo with block and dodge, so a nice blodge piece. We have. Do we just have? Oh no, we have a second werewolf. We'll go right down there. So we have a second werewolf, Muttley Jr. with just block, about to level again. So that would be interesting. I'm not quite sure what you're going to take. If you get like a strength up, double, then you can go for Mighty Blow. If not, then maybe you're going to go for dodge again. Then we have Shaggy, the ghoul, who's taken guard and block. So that's a nice mobile support piece. Although, unless you have a second ghoul, you don't have a dedicated ball carrier. Maybe Scrappy Doo is your dedicated ball carrier. Maybe you lost one. But yeah, that one's nice and great support piece. I often see ghouls on necro teams though becoming the ball carrier, and you just protect them and give them sure hands and lodge and what have you. Next we have Captain Caveman, whites with guard and Mighty Blow. Great choices. Then we have Top Cat, who is definitely the better whites than Captain Caveman, with tackle and an agility up. This allows him to sort of run through tackle zones, maybe even give cage diving a little bit of a try on the other occasion, and sort of really playing the ball hawk role. I think the next skill up you're probably going to want to take is either Mighty Blow if it's a normal, or dodge if it's a double. And that will probably dictate the use this Top Cat's going to have in the team going forward. You could also just push him towards becoming a receiver, but I think he might be better suited to being like a ball hawk type. Yeah, excited to see where Top Cat goes. Then we have your two golems, Yogi Bear and Fred Flintstone, who've both developed in exactly the same way, although Fred Flintstone is about to level again. They just went with block. Then we have Papa Smurf with kick, and we had Gargamel with dirty player. All in all, I think this is a great team. I'm seeing one tackle, but I'm not seeing the dedicated ball carrier. But other than that, I think this is a really good looking team. I also would have loved to have seen your Werewolves having a bit more development, playing teams in higher divisions, Necro teams in higher divisions. I've actually got a game against Rumblebee tonight, and he has Rod the Legend and Luke Thywalker, who's crazy, insane good as well. And those two wolves scare the shit out of me, and pretty much everybody in the league, in the division. REL 1 has a couple of really good Necro teams, including the Super Bowl, last season's Super Bowl champion. All of those teams are very impressive, very scary, and the linchpin for those teams is the Werewolves. So definitely I would love to see a bit more development on those, and definitely maybe focusing on one of your players, but probably the Ghoul, or getting another Ghoul and making them a dedicated ball carrier. But in terms of going through to playoffs, I think this is a solid team. I think it's a very solid coach. A lot of faith in you to be able to play to the best of your abilities. But I'm not feeling that you have an edge in any one area. This is a very solid team. It's a very impressive team for playing teams at your level. But I think when going up against teams from the higher divisions that have just reams of SVP and TV and levels, you haven't developed a hook yet. Something for you to sort of base your game around, which I think most coaches need. So definitely I would advise. I think you're going to do okay in the playoffs. Maybe go a round or two, but next season definitely I would advise sort of just developing roles and focus for your team. It's a nice general team. It's probably going to win you lots of games when you're playing at the same level you're at. But let's say you get bumped up to Division 3, where I'm at next season. There's going to be a lot of teams that you're going to be facing that are going to have an answer for your general strategy. And unless you have a hook, unless you have something to sort of really give your opponent problems, then you might find it a little bit tough, no matter how accomplished a coach you are. Okay, so moving on, and then we're going to look at the current top of the division. Where are they? They've gone. They've scarpered. Oh, there they are. Okay. Weechelen, coached by C. Arnold, and Dark Elf team. And since the beginning of the season, I was hoping that this team would do well, and they did. Let's have a look at the history. Right. I mean, the first game was that's the most recent game. So let's have a look at the first game. Yeah, so the first game, the second game, third game. Yeah, so the first 3 games were all draws. So I seem to remember that this team I felt wasn't performing as well. Maybe I mentioned it on my recap of sort of week 3, because since then Weechelen has just done amazing things. It's 2-0 win, 1-0 win, 2-0 win, 1-0 win, 2-0 win, 1-0 win, 1-0 win, 3-1, 2-1, and this last game, which was a loss. But basically there was 3 draws, and then just like every game you won. I'm not sure what changed for you. I'd really be interested to hear. So maybe just message me on Discord or on the ReBBL or ReBBL site or on Reddit, or even on in the comments on this video. I would just really love to know what it was, that was the tipping point for you after 3 draws and then just winning all these games. But let's have a look at the team. So we have Blodge Sidestep Blitzer, we have Blodge Agility Up Blitzer, we have a Blodge Tackle Blitzer, we have another Blitzer who is probably brand spanking new. Oh no, 7 matches. Just the games weren't really giving an opportunity to shine, I suppose. You also have Nordor, who is close to leveling, but I would definitely think about. I know it's fun to have more developed blitzers, but I think maybe before he gets too ignored, before Ural gets too ignored, and then you've suddenly got these 3 Titanic blitzers and then this one raw one. I would just focus on maybe getting in the playoffs, maybe not, but in the Devastational or the Invitational, to give it its official name, I would definitely focus on trying to get Ural a level, because what you don't want to have happen is you've suddenly developed these 3 players as these 3 blitzers, and they're all sort of really beefy and doing impressive things, and then you're playing against teams at a similar level, and you've got this one weedy, underdeveloped blitzer who giving him the ball, trying to get him to score is always going to be a challenge. And it's much easier to pass off to these blitzers and give them the SVP. And when it's a close game, you're not going to give the ball to him, and he's just going to be continually behind in the development. So definitely for a few matches, just try and, a touchdown here, a pass there, and just try and get him some development. It'll help you in the long run. And then we have the 2 Witch Elves, Lothrincia, I can't pronounce it. Anyway, this Witch Elf here has got a movement up, and she's got block. So nice Blodge Witch Elf with the movement up. And then we have another Witch Elf with Wrestle. Definitely I would think this is going to become a Bullhawk piece. Strip Ball is a nice choice next. Yeah, definitely that would be pretty exciting. If not Strip Ball, Tackle, and at some point maybe Juggernaut as well. Frenzy Juggernaut is very powerful, so that would be exciting and very dynamic, and it'd be a surfing piece. Crazy good. Then we have your lineman with guard, which is a nice roll, and then we have dodge. We have a dodge lineman that's out of commission, at least for the next match. Although if you're going through to the playoffs, you can actually take an admin loss just to bring back your miss next game players. So if you do make it through to the playoffs and you want to take advantage of that, they'll hand you an admin loss. You've got to contact the admin straight away though. They'll hand you an admin loss, and then you will just basically get your any miss next game players back for your first game of the playoffs. And then we have the 2 linemen with Wrestle, which is a good choice as well. All in all, this is an impressive team. It's developing well. As I said, my only criticism would be just getting this blitzer. I know it's much easier to hand off to your other 3 blitzers and your Witch Elves and give them more SVP, get them especially this one here, Nordor, a level. But if you don't start giving him SVP, even incrementally, he's just going to be too far behind before you know it. When you're playing much tougher matches, you're not going to want to take the chance of him being the ball carrier and being blitzed, and he doesn't have dodge and blah blah. So definitely in the devastational, definitely try and just farm him some SPP so he gets a level. Other than that, I think this team is developing really well. Chances in the playoffs. I don't know. You have one or two playmakers. You have some beginnings of some hooks to really sort of base your game plan around. And I think you're definitely a competent coach, so I think you could do well. And I would just say, yeah, go out there and play, have some fun in the playoffs. Make sure you have a team to kind of start in the next season with, and hopefully you're going to do really well. Best of luck to all of the coaches going through from Divisions 5F and 5G through to the playoffs. Hopefully you're all going to do an amazing job. Okay, so that sort of wraps it up for my coverage of weeks 11 and 12. What I'm going to do is next week I'm going to be giving you the action from week 13. And I'm going to be, for both divisions, I'm just going to be sort of taking a deeper look at the teams that are going through to the playoffs, seeing who they're going to be matched against. But I'm also going to be looking at teams in general. I'm going to be doing a review of who improved the most, standout players, to players and teams to watch next season that I think are going to go on to do great and amazing things. Just a sort of general extra bit of fluff to end out the season. But for the moment, that's all from me. And remember, there's scoring and then there's Kallisti scoring.